What happens when we die? It's perhaps the oldest and most profound question humanity has ever asked. For millennia, the answer belonged to priests, philosophers, poets. They gave us stories of heavens, underworlds, reincarnation, eternal rest. These were matters of faith, of belief, of hope. But what if science, the ultimate tool for exploring the unknown, could finally begin to shine a light into that darkness? What if the line between life and death is not a wall but a doorway? This is no longer a question confined to the realm of speculation. All around the world, something remarkable is happening. Scientists are daring to ask the unaskable. They're applying the rigorous methods of investigation to the one experience that awaits us all. The journey is just beginning, and the destination is the greatest mystery of all. For so long, the topic was considered taboo. But a quiet revolution has been building, fueled by persistent, inexplicable evidence. From credible reports of out-of-body experiences during cardiac arrest, to documented children with verifiable memories of past lives. The data points are accumulating, anomalies that refuse to be ignored. Pieces of a puzzle that don't quite fit into our current understanding. These strange and wonderful clues beckon us to look deeper. This is a story about that revolution. It's a story of courageous researchers pushing the boundaries of knowledge. We will travel from hospital emergency rooms to university laboratories. Is the self confined to this life, or part of a grander journey? For decades, stories have trickled in from the edge of life. People declared clinically dead, with no heartbeat and no breath, have returned with astonishing tales. They speak of leaving their bodies, traveling through a tunnel of light, meeting deceased relatives, beings of pure love. For a long time, these were dismissed as hallucinations of an oxygen-starved brain. But as accounts piled up, scientists noticed patterns too consistent to ignore. The experiences were remarkably similar across cultures and ages. One of the most significant attempts to study this scientifically is the AWARE project. Led by Dr. Sam Parnia, this multi-hospital study asked a crucial question. Can consciousness separate from the body? Researchers placed images on high shelves visible only from a vantage near the ceiling. If a patient reported an out-of-body perception, and could identify the hidden image, that would be objective evidence. So far, no patient has identified the hidden targets. But the studies confirmed something equally profound. Many survivors report clear, lucid thought processes during arrest, memories and awareness from periods when their brain was flatlined. Brain scans show the cerebral cortex shuts down within 30 seconds of the heart stopping. Yet, experiences are reported minutes into arrest, suggesting consciousness may operate when the brain appears offline. Some researchers suggest the brain may act more like a receiver or filter than a generator. This opens a radical new way of understanding existence. The echoes from the brink suggest biological life may not be the end of awareness. We will next examine another line of evidence: children who remember past lives. Their cases are meticulous, statistical, and startling. From emergency rooms to children's bedrooms, the evidence takes many forms. Next, the University of Virginia's research on childhood past life memories. Pause. In another corner of science, a different kind of evidence is being gathered. For over 60 years, the University of Virginia's Division of Perceptual Studies has documented thousands of cases. Children aged 2 to 5 report detailed memories of past lives. Researchers document every claim before verification attempts begin. They search death certificates, newspaper archives, and interview surviving relatives. In many cases, a deceased person is identified, sometimes with matching birthmarks or wounds. Over 2,500 cases have been documented. About 70% match identifiable deceased individuals. Pioneered by Dr. Ian Stevenson and continued by Dr. Jim Tucker, the work is painstaking and methodical. Tucker's strength of case scale evaluates physical correlations, statements, behaviors, and connections. Some cases involve distant families with no prior contact, making ordinary explanations difficult. Researchers verify historical records, interview witnesses, and rule out normal learning. Often the memories fade by age 7, as normal development overwrites them. Skeptics point to parental suggestion, cultural influence, or imagination. But strongest cases involve independent historical verifications across distant locations. What mechanism could explain a child accurately knowing details of someone who died before they were born? In 2025, UVA launched a neuroimaging initiative to compare children with past life memories to controls. This $750,000 study applies state-of-the-art fMRI and EEG to the question. Some propose speculative frameworks like quantum field-based hypotheses to explain the mechanism. The work is intriguing, but controversies and alternative explanations remain. Still, the statistical patterns and independent matches are difficult to dismiss. Next, what happens in the dying brain, terminal lucidity and gamma surges. These stories ask uncomfortable scientific questions about identity and memory. They push researchers to build better methods, more controls, and larger data sets. Onwards, to the dying brain. As our technology for peering inside the brain improves, we witness dying in unprecedented detail. Long assumed to fade like a dimming light, consciousness may instead show surprising activity near death. One perplexing phenomenon is terminal lucidity. A patient non-communicative for months, often from dementia, suddenly regains clarity. They call their children and grandchildren by name, speak with coherence thought lost. Shortly after, they often pass away. Terminal lucidity has been documented for centuries but only recently studied seriously. In brains ravaged by Alzheimer's, the structures for memory are degraded, yet lucidity occurs. This challenges simple biological explanations. Researchers have observed a surge of highly organized gamma-wave activity after the heart stops. Animal studies showed gamma surges. Recent human recordings confirm similar phenomena. These surges concentrate in posterior cortical zones linked to visual consciousness. Is it a final, brilliant hallucination or the release of consciousness? The filter model. Perhaps the brain normally constrains consciousness, and in failing states the filter changes. Researchers are reviewing EEG recordings and building measurement scales. Terminal lucidity appears in many documented cases, not just exceptions. Major institutions are tracking lucidity and creating protocols to measure it. But mechanisms remain speculative. Skeptics cite neurochemical cascades, adrenaline, steroids, as potential causes. Nevertheless, the combination of terminal lucidity and gamma surges demands better models. Next, how formal academic institutions are responding. The dying brain is not merely powering down, it's producing puzzles. Institutions are taking notice. Debates intensify. Coming, the academic embrace of survival research. For much of the 20th century, survival research was relegated to the fringes, pursued by a handful of brave researchers facing ridicule. But the tide is turning. Aware, UVA, University of Michigan, and others produce evidence difficult to ignore. A new generation of scientists with better technology is entering the field. Centers for Consciousness Studies spring up at respected universities. The work attracts philanthropic funding and institutional grants. Major conferences convene thousands of researchers annually. Peer-reviewed journals now publish rigorous survival research. Neurologists, physicists, psychologists, and philosophers now collaborate. Some physicists explore non-local frameworks, neuroscientists design better experiments, international collaborations pool data for robust sample sizes, protocols now use triple-blind designs for mediumship and independent verification. Portable EEG, AI pattern recognition, and simultaneous EEG fMRI broaden measurement tools. Controversies continue, but so do methodological improvements. Legitimization brings resources to pursue mechanistic questions. Systematic reviews and careful pre-registered studies begin to address bias. International networks coordinate standards and protocols. The question has come in from the cold and into mainstream science. This is now a vibrant interdisciplinary field, but the intellectual battles are far from settled. The discipline is building tools to test the untested. Next, the philosophical and scientific unanswered questions. Pause. Despite intriguing evidence, the idea that consciousness can survive death is highly controversial. The scientific community is engaged in a profound debate, with compelling arguments both ways. Proponents point to verifiable out-of-body perceptions, children's past life memories, and terminal lucidity. Skeptics rely on established neuroscience, correlation between brain activity and experience. NDEs could be complex neurochemical hallucinations. Children's memories may be cryptomnesia combined with suggestion. The debate centers on whether the brain generates the mind or receives it. We know stimulation evokes perception, but correlation is not causation. The lump of gray tissue produces subjective worlds. How, if consciousness survives, what form does it take? Where does it reside? How could it connect to a new brain, as reincarnation cases suggest? Skeptics demand testable, physical models. Proponents argue we may need a new kind of physics that includes consciousness. Recent adversarial collaborations show mixed but interesting results. Methodology is improving. Pre-registration, larger samples, controls. This is not a simple debate. It pushes at the limits of knowledge, but it is the kind of vigorous, cross-disciplinary science that advances understanding. The unanswered questions are vast. If consciousness is enduring, what does that mean for identity and connection? It hints at a universe imbued with meaning and awareness. Next, why this research may redefine everything. The continued rigorous investigation into survival is more than academic. It stands to redefine who we are, what life is, and how we should live it. If science shows awareness is not extinguished at death, the implications would be staggering. It would alter medicine and end-of-life care. It would reshape grief and bereavement, offering potential consolation to many. It could change how we say goodbye. This research pushes the definition of science itself. It demands new methods, new instruments, new ways of thinking about subjective experience. It may require us to expand physics to incorporate consciousness. The greatest breakthroughs come when scientists follow anomalous data, not dismiss it. Anomalies deserve careful investigation. They often lead to new understanding. By following the evidence, we honor science's true spirit. If consciousness is enduring, it invites responsibility and empathy. It can deepen appreciation for the precious time we have. It suggests a deeper connection between all of us. This research invites new generations to ask bold questions. We engage with the deepest mysteries not with blind faith or cynical dismissal, but with disciplined curiosity, with open minds and rigorous tools. This research is a testament to the unending human drive to know, to understand, to find our place in the cosmos. The final answer may be beyond our lifetime, but the journey matters. By asking the biggest questions, we elevate our science and ourselves. We push boundaries and follow evidence wherever it leads. This quest is about more than death. It's about living fully now. The journey continues.